Hey, it's Elizabeth Off Grid. So I stayed in a motel for 2 nights. This is an inexpensive place, $100 a night kind of place. And you might think that I would have thought this was super great to be in a motel room and not be sleeping in a car and all those things. So this was an experiment to see what I thought about it. And here's the thing. One night in a motel was actually very good because number one, I had air conditioning. That was actually nice to have a break from trying to have to keep cool. Number two is I got to charge up everything, not just my big batteries and not just my laptop and phone. Those are actually easy things to charge pretty quickly at the library. But I got to charge all my USB-A devices that take like 12 hours to charge. So that was really good. Those are harder to get charged. I'm not gonna stay at the library for 12 hours, not even open that long. And my fans and all these things that are actually very important. Along with that, I realized that there's a few more things that I needed specifically for electronics. So I needed some more micro USB-A plugs so I could charge all those things at once. I needed another adapter for my car so I could charge those things when I'm driving, because I just have one adapter and I use that for my iPhone. And it's a USB-C and USB-A adapter, but I wanted another plug because I have another 12-volt plug in my car. That's just 2 USB-A adapters. And number 3, I got to have a sink where I could wash my hands. You can see the sink back there. Obviously, I'm in a motel, there's gonna be a sink, but that's something I very much miss living in a car, is having running water to wash my hands. When you wash your hands in a park or a library, there's no hot water. It kind of like shuts off each time. It's like my hand, and I don't get to have a towel to dry. Those were the 3 things that I missed. Having a big bed, this big giant king size bed. I slept in the little tiny sliver that's the same size as my bed in my car. I don't care about having a big bed. This bed was actually weirdly cushiony, like overly cushiony for me. I actually don't like that. Having a shower, the Planet Fitness shower is actually better. So that wasn't that big of a deal. Having a toilet, that really wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest. It was nice to not have to drive places all the time. So I actually ended up with more time during the day. But to be honest, what did I do at that time? I watched stuff on HBO, or whatever the heck it's called. Max, I don't know, they changed the name. It's completely idiotic branding decision, but that's another video. And I, vegged out, and I looked at the news. Because I wasn't outside, I felt like I needed to fill all that time up with junk, social media, watching shows I've already seen, reading the news. And the thing is, I don't miss that stuff. I actually miss being outside. I literally haven't left this room. I haven't opened up that door since 2 days ago. And it's not, I need to be outside. I'm much happier. I'm actually looking forward to going to my car. So the benefits of being in a motel, I could have gotten in one night. After those 20 hours, if I would have checked in at checked-in time and checked out at checkout time, I would have gotten every device charged. I would have gotten to, experience the AC. I would have gotten to clean up completely. And also using the refrigerator was nice because I bought some refrigerated food to eat while I was in here. I got to eat cream cheese, but 2 nights was too long. Oh, and also during that time, that first night, I actually edited 6 videos for my other channel. Now, it's not that I didn't use the rest of the time, but not really. So I think in the future, budgeting for 1 night a month in a motel, I put it in my budget, $125 a month for a motel. If I'm in a small town, it might be a hotel. Because here in the Silicon Valley, that's a motel price. But in a lot of places, you can get a Hampton Inn or something for $125, or even a Holiday Inn Express. The nice part about those things is they have free breakfast, so you get more value in that way. But yeah, it was a good experiment, and I'm glad I did it. But next time I'd only do 1 night, unless it was seriously that hot or got cold. The thing is, this heat wave was not as bad as the other heat wave. It would make sense if it was 100 and something degrees. It would make sense and wasn't cooling off at night. It would make sense if it was, super below freezing, but I would have been fine outside actually, because it really didn't get that hot and the low was low enough. So the next phase between today and tomorrow is I'm prepping to actually go off grid. I'm technically off grid right now because I'm not plugged into anything, but to really go out into the woods and go up into the mountains, go up to the Sierra Nevadas and camp. The one thing I'm apprehensive about actually is the heat, because even at high elevations, it's going to be pretty warm during the day. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, you're outside, it's different. I'm also, this is an experiment to see, do I have the right supplies? Do I have everything I need? I'm bringing different stuff than I normally would bring camping because I don't need to set up a tent, you know. So we'll see. I have no idea how long I'm gonna go. I might go for 2 nights. I might go for 10. I'm gonna bring enough meds for 10, but actually I'm gonna bring enough meds for 2 weeks. I'll have clothes for 10 days and I might just stay 2 or 3 nights. I don't know. It depends on, do I realize that I need stuff that I don't have? Is it way too hot? One of the things that sucks about going from hot here to there is I have to drive through Central California, and that's where the heat wave is, where it's like 110 degrees. So that's not a good time. I can't really, I'm not stopping in there. I mean, besides like getting gas or going to the bathroom, I'm not going to stop to sleep in the middle of California where it's, you know, 110. Because at night, if it's 110 during the day, it's 90 at night, and that ain't a good time to sleep. So I'm back in my car. I'm very happy to be back in my car. It's so nice to be in my own space again. I've been working on a ton of errands and things to get ready for it going on an actual trip. Yay! Finally. So I did all my laundry. I went to my one storage room, went to my other storage room. I had to get stuff that's like camping stuff. Not a huge amount of things, but things like my sun tent and stuff like that. We'll see if I have the right stuff. I'm sure there's things that I want that I didn't get, especially because everything's still a big mess in my storage. I'm also changing around how my food is going to be. So you can see over here, I have an empty one of these containers. I'm going to rearrange all the food preparation stuff and the food. I actually want all the food to actually go into the trunk when I'm in bear country, but the trunk has stuff in it. I don't know how it's gonna work. Because one of the problems is like when I'm in town, I have the food in here because well, I'm not gonna say no one would break in my car to steal food, but if someone breaks in my car to steal food, they really need food. And so instead of having like my electronics and my battery and like that stuff in here. Now what I could do is put my clothes in here and like all that, the kind of non-expensive stuff that's also not food, you know. So I think I'm gonna end up switching things out, but I'm gonna wait to do that until I'm at a campground. I'm excited to sleep in my own bed tonight because this is my own bed, and it actually is cooling off enough that I don't think I'll have a problem sleeping. It got to be pretty warm today, like 93. I actually had a problem with getting overheated. I was at the laundromat and it was insanely hot in there because it's humid, plus all the dryers are going and it was crowded full of people. Like literally every washer and dryer was getting used, and it was about 11:30. It was so hot and I got overheated. I was sweating. I wasn't like I was in a dangerous place, but I mean, I was so overheated and my heart was racing faster and faster and faster. As the day went on, I ended up checking my blood sugar. My blood sugar was like 220 because of that. Because that's something, blood sugar isn't just about what you eat or whatever. It's about everything. Stress, heat, cold, all the things. I thought being at the library where I went to upload videos, because the library has the fastest internet, it's amazing. It's like over 70. On upload, it's over 70. So I thought it would be good there because I thought the air conditioning would cool down my core, but it just wasn't cold enough. Like they don't keep it really low, which I don't blame them for, but the air is kind of stagnant in there. I was like sweating. So after I got everything uploaded, after about, I don't know, an hour or so, I was like, forget this. And so I went and got in my car and drove. I took surface streets to get to the park where I'm at now. And because of that, it gave me a lot of time in the air conditioning of the car. My car doesn't have amazing air conditioning, but it was better than that library because it's such a small space, you know? And I finally cooled my core down. And by the time I got here, it was still in the 90s, but there was a really good solid wind. So it was fine. And I could park in the shade. I put away all my clothes finally, got everything in the trunk that needs to be in the trunk so I can go to sleep tonight. So I have this space so I can go to sleep. Of course, this basket will go up over here. This will be back here because this has my CPAP and everything in it. And then all that stuff can just stay where it is. And then I'll be able to go to sleep and it'll be nice. Tomorrow morning, I'm planning to go to Planet Fitness. I don't think I'm gonna work out. I think I'm just gonna take a shower. Then I'll get breakfast from Starbucks with my last 2 Starbucks cards, which hopefully have money on them still. And then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna start driving, and I will not go into an area where there's no internet before I have my 10 a.m. Zoom call. So I'll stop somewhere. I don't know where I'm gonna stop because it depends on what time I leave, you know what I'm saying? But I'll stop somewhere in Central California. It'll probably be hotter than heck, but you know, what are you gonna do? Then once I get that call done, then I'll head to the mountains. I will be fleeing to the woods. It will be glorious because I'll finally be underway. Finally underway. So I'm very excited about that. I'm planning to go spend the first maybe couple nights at a national forest campground. There's a national forest campgrounds that are like $10, $12, $14 in there. They have very minimal services. A lot of them, the ones that are less expensive don't even have water, but they do have pit latrines, which is wonderful. You know, the most basic level of stuff. And then they'll have, you know, picnic tables and stuff. I can then rearrange all my food things, which is a project I want to do tomorrow. And also just be there, be at a campsite. I haven't been camping in so long because of life. And so I'm so excited to be at a campsite and also to adjust to elevation. Where I'm planning to camp is just going to be around, you know, 5,000, which for a normal person wouldn't be a problem. But I'm very sensitive to elevation. So my thought is to spend like 2 nights at 5,000. Then I can start going up, actually go into the national park and go up to, you know, 7,000 and whatever. I don't remember how high up that park goes. I'm not going to climb Lassen Peak. I'm not in shape for that. I don't even know if it's that trail's open. It might still have snow on it. But someday I do want to hike that. But I need to be in peak shape for it and very acclimated to the elevation. I get altitude sickness so easy. But I do want to do some other hikes in that entire area. I want to go to a cave there. There's a whole bunch of different things I want to go to. Lassen National Park is one of my national parks that I love because unlike Yosemite, which is a zoo, it's like going to Disney or something. Lassen doesn't have a ton of people there, especially if you go to the stuff really early in the morning. You get up and you're there at, you know, 6:30, 7 a.m. It's lovely. And that's the best time to hike because then it won't be hot yet. So I'm hoping to stay really close to the national park and then I can go there early. I'll have to see what trails are open because they still have snow there. And the road is open so I can drive through. Yeah, so that's the plan. I have to be back here by August because I have jury duty. So 2 weeks is my max. I have 10 days worth of clothes. And well, really, actually, I could wear my workout clothes and obviously I could do laundry. But the big thing is I have 2 weeks of prescription meds. So I'm thinking somewhere between 3 nights and 10. We shall see. And hopefully tonight goes well, knock on plastic, and I'll be able to get a good start tomorrow. So I am at a national forest campground. It's $18 a night, which is my opinion is a bit too much for a campground that only has porta potties, but it does have water. And fundamentally, I just wanted a picnic table. Because you see here, I have a bunch of stuff to organize. I need to organize all my food. So number 1, it's organized. And number 2, so I can put it in the trunk because I'm in bear country and I want my food in the trunk, not in the car with me sleeping. It actually, I feel like for $18 a night, there should be bear storage box things. But I guess they don't have bad enough bears here that it's an issue. Anyway, so I have had a migraine today. Apparently this is my migraine shirt. Who knew? I actually really like this. This shirt is so great when it's like super hot. Driving through Central California, it's 101 down there right now. I'm at elevation of like 4,000 and something. So here it is 89. 89 with a bit of a breeze and the shade. Nice, fine. 101 is oppressive, right? At least when you're not used to it. I don't know. It seems like it'd be oppressive for anyone. Anyway, there are flies here. That's just troublesome. I did buy some mosquito stuff in case there are mosquitoes. I seriously might just go in my car. One thing I don't know where it is my netting for my window. I really hope I can find that. Because it would be great to be able to roll down my window and just sleep with my windows open. Or at least one window open. I hope I have 2 of them. If I don't, that's going to go on the list. I'm planning to put up my front and back window coverings. Or maybe I'll just put my front window covering. Because you see where my car is? My front window covering will block out there. I'm going to leave the rest out. And it'll be lovely. I think it'll be really nice. So I'm going to organize all this stuff. I have, unfortunately, it's in the sun right now because this is like very short period of time where my stuff is in the sun. This place is so quiet. It's me and just a few RVs. I don't know if no one's home or they're inside or what, but it is silent. There's no hookups here. So it's a particular kind of camper who comes here, more my kind of camper. My hope is that it will feel better tomorrow, or at least not worse. And then I'll kind of I've regrouped everything. The car will be cleaned up, and then I'm going to start going from place to place. One of the things that I love about car camping with no tent when I'm just sleeping in my car is I could go from place to place and camp somewhere different each night. So I think that might be what I do. Not quite sure where I'm going to go or how long I'm going to be out yet. I still haven't gotten a vibe on that. We're going to see. I got enough food for a while, because especially considering the shelf stable food, I got enough food for a while. I have 4 gallons of water, and I can fill up all the water that I use here, so I'll be fine with that. And there's bathrooms here, so that's nice. I'm not gonna be able to shower, but you know what? Who cares? I'm by myself. I have wet wipes, I have water, I have soap. I can just clean myself. My hair will progressively get worse. That's okay. Right now it's in like the most messy bun you could possibly have. That's just so I can keep it cool. Okay, I'm gonna get going on working on this organization. Wish me luck. So I want a container for each activity. A container for breakfast, which includes coffee. So I'm slightly frozen. All right, this is hot cooking. Salt we're gonna put out by itself. Peanuts and cooking go with hot cooking. Coffee. We all just sell small plates. Chips and now, snacks, meals. I have so many hot meals. So I am using my Cephally device the second time today. First time was at Trader Joe's parking lot, and I only did it for 45 minutes because I was kind of running out of time. So now I'm in my campsite. I've already arranged my food, and it's in the trunk, so I don't have to worry about animals or bears getting it. And I have a bunch of stuff in the car. I'm going to probably rearrange everything another time or two. I don't like how it's arranged in the trunk, but it's a start. It's at least in the right place. And I don't like how the stuff in here is arranged, but I'll figure it out. It's nice to just rest. Usually when I use my Cephally device, I watch YouTube. There's no internet here. There's no LTE, there's no 5G, there's no 3G, there's no Edge network. Does Edge network exist? It might not exist anymore. I do have satellite, so I was able to check in. So my son and my significant other got a check-in message, and then I sent an actual text via satellite to my significant other saying, you know, here's the campground I'm at, here's the site number, here's what my plans are. And I got a okay reply back. So that's good. I'm actually thinking I'm going to up my satellite subscription because I don't want to have to worry about going over, but we'll see. I think I'll take away the location tracking thing that nobody's using and then add more messages, because I would want to send at least one message a day, and then I have to pay. I think I have to pay for the message come back, which I would always want someone to confirm that they got it, right? So anyway, so it means I go through 20 messages in 10 days at least, because I think I have to pay for the message each way, but I'm not sure. I had a tuna fish sandwich, which was good. I was very hungry. I'm thinking I'm actually going to cook a hot dinner instead of having a salad, because I'm here at a campground and there's a picnic table, and I think it will be like nice to actually make a hot meal. I haven't made a hot meal in so many days I don't remember. I guess Saturday morning when it's Tuesday, that was the last actual hot meal I had besides fast food. I did go to McDonald's yesterday because it was too hot for me to make a hot meal. Up here at elevation, it's in the 80s, so it's not too hot. So I'm thinking I can make a nice hot meal. I have an avocado. I have 2 tomatoes. So I'm thinking, I don't think I'll have the avocado yet because it needs to ripen. I actually put it in with the apples, so it would ripen. But I'm thinking some sort of taco-y kind of meal, and then have fresh salsa, and I have tomato. I'll make it with green onions, and then I have cilantro, I have a jalapeno. I have, what else? Oh, a lime, so I could make a nice little, what is it called? Pico de gallo? Salsa fresca? I don't remember, whatever. Anyway, I think it might be really nice. And I should eat it now in case that stuff goes bad. I'm planning to stay at elevation, so it shouldn't get too overheated. But we'll see how it goes. And I have cheese too, so I can put cheese on it. I think that would be nice to have a nice real meal. It's so lovely to be in the woods. I love that I can just lay here. I don't have to be stealth. I'm just in the woods and there's trees. See? That's trees. so I can just chill here. There's nothing I need to do. I can't check my messages. I can't reply to anything. I'm off the grid of all the grids. I am off all of them. There is water that I can get. So there's one gridness. Like, I can get water, and obviously I'm picking satellite, which I would always want to do because I want to let someone know where I'm at since I'm traveling alone. So I'm going to do a video in the future about traveling alone. A lot of people really hyper about a woman traveling alone, but to be honest, I'm not saying that there aren't any unique risks about being a woman, but generally speaking, the risk is traveling alone. It's not about being a woman or someone who's female presenting or whatever. It is about being a person traveling by yourself, because there are so many extra risks because there's no one there to help or bail you out. That's why I think having a satellite communicator is very important. And even I, a person who is all about doing stuff on my own and being super independent, even I have a satellite communicator. So if I have it, that means you really need it. All right, I'm going to relax for a while with my satellite device, let it do its work. I think I might be getting a sunburn over here, so I need to put something on myself, block the sun on the side later. It's nice being in a campground just because it's a lot easier in some ways. There's somewhere to take my trash. I can get a lot of water. I was able to wash my vegetables I bought today without having to use my own water for that. There's toilets. Well, it's just pit toilet. Well, not even pit toilets. They're porta potties. You can probably see them way in the background. But you know what? It makes things a lot easier. The campground's not that full. There are a few people here, but not a lot. So just a tiny bit of ambient noise, and there's nobody even close to me, so far at least. So yeah, I mean, it's still early in the day. It's only 4:30 maybe, but most likely it won't be that many people here today because it's the middle of the week. And this is a forest campground, not a national park. I wasn't aware how many forest and BLM campgrounds there are that actually have some minimal level of services where they have at least a pit train, sometimes they have trash service, sometimes they have water. They're less expensive and they're usually more available. I don't even think this place takes reservations. It's just all first come, first serve. There are forest parks that take reservations, but I don't think there was anyone to do that here. So yeah, I mean, it is lovely in that sense. I only signed up for one night, which I think is enough. $18. I don't want to spend that much money every day, that's for sure. The whole idea of this is for me to spend $0 per night, but I needed to kind of regroup, give myself a break, go somewhere that's certain. I don't know where I'll go tomorrow night or where I'm going to go after this. Part of it also depends on how I feel in the morning. How hot is it? How do I feel in the heat? How does my food do? Etc. I found the covers for my car. You can see the things on the back windows. That will be so I can leave my windows completely down for sleeping and bugs will theoretically not get in. I'm very excited about that. There are bugs, but there haven't been anything that's bothersome, but it's still the afternoon. So we'll see. It's not super wet here. Like, there isn't a creek right by where I'm at, so maybe the mosquitoes won't be too bad. I do think I'm going to cook hot food tonight because I think that would be nice. I haven't had, like I said earlier, I haven't had food since Saturday, and today's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I'm already starting to have a lost sense of time. What day is it? What time is it? When I'm disconnected from the internet, it makes it easy to disconnect. So I have my book here that I've started reading, and I have knitting. I have some other hobby things to do. I don't know. And then I'm gonna make food as soon as I'm hungry. It's very chill. I haven't been camping in so long. I'm not gonna make a fire. It's not that I dislike campfires, but there's so much of a hassle and it makes everything so smoky, and also it's hot. It'd be different if it was like December and I wanted it for the heat, but I definitely don't want it for the heat. I have zero interest in making a campfire. Also, if I was going to like cook with charcoal and then I would use the charcoal to start the wood, it would make it super easy. Yeah, I have zero interest in that. I'll cook with my electric stuff. I could set out my solar panels right now. Maybe I will charge up my sleeping battery, my CPAP battery. Till later. So I forgot a little bit. I mean, I remembered, but I'm at 4,865 feet, which I know because of the Gaia GPS app. And I forgot that even at this elevation, I feel the elevation. I have been drinking so much water. Like, my body is like making so much blood. I know. I had an amazing dinner. It was so good. Making that fresh salsa, the lime, added so much to the meal. And I think that's something that's really important, is I need to have fresh vegetables to really add something to my meal every day. Or as much as possible. And things like lime and stuff like that, that's not actually expensive. Now, green onions I might grow, but I don't know how people order cars. I'm really, I don't know. Put it in one of the drink holders. I need to make sure that I take it easy so I can build up blood. I ate so much of food. I actually couldn't finish it. It was so good, so good. But I couldn't finish it. It was too much. I'm really glad though I had a very full meal. I was completely satisfied. Ate till I couldn't eat any more, and I feel satiated. Oh, so good. The jalapeno, I mean, just the other freshness plus the hot cooked things, is a perfect mix. There are some really cute chipmunks. Oh, look at that cute little chipmunk. So if I didn't have a migraine, I think I'd be in a much better place. I mean, that's probably obvious, but I'm tired but not sleepy. It's still light outside. I'm in, the woods. It smells so good. I have all this time to relax, but because my head hurts, I really am not interested in any of my hobbies or the books that I've brought. I mean, they're just, yeah. So one thing I realized is I only have like 2 things downloaded on my phone to watch, one of which I've already watched. Or it's almost completely finished watching. And there are things I've already watched before, which is totally fine. And then I only had a couple books downloaded on my Kindle, of which I've either already read or I don't want to read right now. So that's the thing, is like I wasn't quite prepared for being off grid. I need to have a few things downloaded, like movies or shows to watch, that just to pass the time if I have a migraine or don't feel well or something. And I need to have stuff downloaded on my Kindle. My Kindle can only download on Wi-Fi. So the next time I have Wi-Fi, or the next time my phone can access the internet. What I'm actually thinking of doing tomorrow morning is driving over to the Lawson Visitor Center. I have my pass, so I can go. I went and made sure I had my pass, so I could put it in my wallet. And so then I think that they should have Wi-Fi there. And that way I can download some stuff and also ping my son and make sure my son is okay, which most likely my son is 100% fine. Yeah, it just kind of regroup in a being back on the grid for a second way. Because that's really what I need. I need literature and to read. I brought only one book with me, which is a nonfiction book, and it's a fairly intellectual book, and I don't always want to read a fairly intellectual book. All the other books I have in my car I already finished, and then my Kindle doesn't have so yeah. I have my stuff that's my hobbies. I may do some of that tonight or tomorrow morning, which I'm looking forward to, but I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm not up to it. I think I actually might play on my computer for a while. I might play Civilization. I haven't done that in weeks, since before I moved into my car, so that might be kind of nice just to chill out. I was able to charge my small battery, my CPAP battery, up to 100%. So I feel very flush with electricity. So I'm fine with that. The only problem I'm having right now is my Cephaly device for migraines actually ran out of battery. I tried to charge it and it won't charge. It won't charge off this little battery. It will only charge off a big one. I don't know why. It times out. It's weird. It must need more power, I guess. So anyway, it looks like it's charging fine off my CPAP battery. So that's fine. That's just the way it is. Yeah. So hopefully I've already brushed my teeth and went to the bathroom. I might need to go to the bathroom again, but I might not. I might be in for the night. It's not late at all. It's like, I don't know. It's not even 8 o'clock, but I'm so tired and done. Done not with being out here because I love it, but the day, 'cause I want to go to sleep and wake up and hopefully feel better. And if I don't feel better, at least I'll have slept, you know what I mean? And hopefully have more energy. So yeah, it's my plan to go to the visitor center, regroup a little bit there. I'm planning to try to spend tomorrow night somewhere that is boondocking. So then that's free. So we'll see how that goes. I'm taking it very easy. At the visitor center, I might also walk on a trail, go hike, really just see how things are going hike, just to acclimate to elevation. So wish me luck. Hopefully I sleep well tonight. So one thing I've learned is cold breakfast when you're camping and it's cold and it's like 50 degrees outside is very unsatisfying. Because the thing is, I could have made hot breakfast. I have my whole setup here. And I mostly just was trying to keep it easy, and I have a migraine and I have troubles. But yeah, hot breakfast would have been great because I'm cold. So I think that's one thing that I'm going to change is in the city, when I'm being stealth, making hot breakfast is too much of a hassle because I have to do it inside the cars. No, parks aren't open. It doesn't work.
But at a campground, or if I'm camping dispersed or whatever, I'm going to set it up anyway to do coffee. So I might as well set it up to have hot breakfast, because I'll have a picnic table, or I'll set up my own table if I'm dispersed. So it is hard to eat cold food when you're cold. It's actually not that it's horribly cold. It's 50 degrees isn't that cold. It's not windy at all, which is nice for 50 degrees. It's just that when you're moving around, 50 degrees isn't cold, but when you're just sitting here, it is. So it would have been nice to have eggs or something hot. I did not sleep well because I have a migraine. That would have been the same no matter where I was. If I was in a hotel, if I was in a house or apartment, if I was sleeping stealth in the city or camping, I just slept terrible because I have a migraine. My cephally device is charging. I couldn't have it charged in the nighttime because it blinks this incredibly, it's not a loud light, bright light, that if I put anything on top of it, it might knock it off because it's just stuck on there with magnets. So I couldn't have it charged overnight. So it's charging now. It went dead yesterday. I'll let it charge for a while. I do really want to be able to use it before I get underway. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, things I've learned so far. 1, not having hot breakfast sucks. I need hot breakfast when it's cold, which is always cold when you're camping in the morning in the western part of the United States, at least, where it's not humid, Number 2, the satellite thing works great, but it actually needs to have some open sky, which is obvious because it's using satellites. But that creates a weird thing because it needs to be connected to my phone. If I have Bluetooth, so my phone can't be too far away, but if my phone is in direct sunlight, it gets overheated. So there's a little dynamic there, but it works. So I'm glad about that. Number 3, my solar panel is awesome, and I love it. It charges up my small battery. My CPAP battery, excellent. If I can put it out there for not even an hour, I don't know, 45 minutes, 30 minutes every day, it's like an infinite amount of power from the sun, which I enjoy. I know I don't look like it, but I have a migraine, so I don't look like I enjoy anything. My big battery, recharging that, I don't know, it's a project, figuring out the best way to go about that. Number 4, I don't know what number I'm on, is that it takes more power to boil water at elevation, which is obvious, but like I literally watched it use so much, like twice as much power. I'm like, what the heck? I'm only at 4,800 feet. I'm not that high. Number 5, when I'm at elevation, I drink literally twice as much water as normal because my body's like, we have to make all the blood. Oh my God, this is an entirely different situation. You need so much more oxygen, which is good. I'm glad my body does that. Very helpful. But wow, so much water. So much water. I'm sure I'll even out in a day or two, but twice as much water as normal. It's wacky. It's amazing. I don't even notice that I'm drinking it. And then I'm like, how did my water bottle get empty? So that's actually a tip for the future for myself, which is the first night at elevation, spend the night in a campground that has water. Because I'm going to be sucking that water down. So if I'm going from effectively sea level to 5,000 feet, go up to 5,000 feet, stop, go to a campground for a night or two, and just suck down water and rest and recalibrate, then go up. I'm planning to go higher than this during the day today, but then come back to about this elevation for nighttime. That's the whole, you hike up and come back down. It's gonna build up my tolerance. We'll see how the migraine does though. I don't know what number we're on. 6? I learned that my cephally device is very finicky about being charged. It can't charge off my little tiny batteries. I don't know why. I think what happens is that it pulls such a small amount of power to charge. It's a stupid charging thing, very weak, that my little portable batteries time out. I think it's not charging anything. Now my CPAP battery, or the battery I use for my CPAP, it's not actually a dedicated CPAP battery in the sense of coming with my CPAP, but that will not time out, or at least it hasn't yet. I don't know. Cephally has a new device that they're super excited about and keep sending me coupons about. And these things cost about $100 and are covered by my insurance. Covered by insurance is America. And so I wonder if they charge faster. Nobody cares about that kind of stuff unless you're, doing this. I would like to be able to use that device this morning, but I don't think I'm going to. I may use it at like a picnic area a little bit later. Number 7 is that my cooler, which I meant for the veggies to be protected and keep cool, actually keeps them warm. So I go in there in the morning and they're the same temperature as they were last night, which is actually not what I want. So I have the lid open. I'm letting all the veggies come to current temperature, 50 degrees, and then I'll put them away and then they'll stay at 50. I don't know. It's just veggies, so if they go bad, it'll be super obvious. It's not like they'll poison me. I do have cheese. Now, according to the FDA, sharp cheddar cheese and other hard cheeses do not need to be refrigerated, but refrigerating them is good. So my thought is if I eat them within 2 days or something, then it'll be fine. So I broke open the cheese. I haven't eaten it. Hopefully I'm not poisoned. I'm not worried about it at all. I think it would be obvious it was bad, but I don't know how long it'll last. Oh, another thing I found out for the first time in my life, what number I'm at, 8? First time in my life, I tried these meat sticks, which I've never been able to get myself to eat before, but I did eat it and I liked it. I think it was because it was pepperoni. I mean, I didn't love it, but I liked it. And this is like $1 because it's on sale at Whole Foods. Whole Foods' prices are higher except when they have sales, and they're a lot lower. And I've only eaten half of it, or 2/3 of it. I think I will eat the rest of it though. I just need to take a break, mostly because I'm cold. Because this whole having cold breakfast, this ain't working for me. I mean, coffee is good, but only so much coffee. It takes so much power to heat the water. Now, I do have another way to heat water. I have my little gas stove, my jet boil. I actually might use that instead for heating water because this is so inefficient. This is great for cooking food. Heating water, I think I'm going to use my jet boil. That was number 8. Oh, I actually kind of like having my clothes inside the car instead of the food. Since I'm not eating, like making food in the car, I don't think it makes any sense. I need to rearrange the trunk because the trunk is all in havoc. I still have random things. Like, there was a bunch of stuff that I meant to put in my storage and I literally forgot. And so I have a bunch of like random things, like books that I've already read and, you know, just all this like randomness floating around inside the car. It'll get done though. So what I'm thinking is I obviously will finish eating what I can eat, clean up everything, pack the trunk back up. I think I might end up putting my chair inside the car just because it's the easiest place to put it, you know, which is actually fun. So I had to get it. I'm not sleeping. I'm at stealth. So I can just get it out and set it up whenever I need to. And if I want to be in the car and lay down, I'll just put it in the driver's seat. Not being stealth, huge relief. Maybe that's number 9. Not being stealth is a huge relief. It makes so many things easier because I don't have to feel like I need to hide anything. Because the thing is, I don't want to actually make people uncomfortable. You know, if people see me and then there's like, oh, it's not that I'm worried about them thinking bad things about me, but I don't want them to be concerned or bothered or whatever. You know, I don't want to be bothered. So anyway, my plan is to go to Mineral, which is the town right by here, and buy some eggs. I'm hoping that the store will be open, and I'm hoping that they sell eggs by 6 instead of just a dozen. I don't know what I'll do if there's only sell a dozen because I don't think I could fit that many eggs in my cooler, and also I don't know if I want that many eggs. Now, if I do, I could use those eggs. I could eat like 4 eggs a day, you know, use those eggs for my meal, for my protein in my hot meal later in the day. I had a hot meal for dinner. This is number 10. Hot meal for dinner in a campground is good. I don't want to do that when I'm stealth in the city, but in a campground, it's nice. My dinner last night was so freaking glorious with that salsa fresca. Was it salsa fresca? Pico de gallo? Pico de gallo? I don't know. I'll look it up later. My brain doesn't work well right now. It was so good. It tasted so fresh, so healthy, like full of like nutrients. It's great. So I'm really glad I decided to do that. And I think that's going to be something very important is to think about what fresh stuff can I eat? What fresh veggies can I buy? I really like vegetables. And what fresh veggies can I buy, incorporate into what I'm eating? I tend to cook vegetables and then have a salad. But I think some fresh veggies like a pico de gallo is so good. Especially for me, since I'm eating more processed food, you know. I mean, meat sticks are freaking processed, violently processed to get to be shelf stable for a very long time. I am glad I like that though. That'll be a helpful thing in the future. I have to try different ones. Some of them have a bizarre amount of sodium though. I mean, you have to put a sodium in there to keep it as a preservative. But yeah, so I'm going to go to Mineral, buy some eggs maybe, if the store is open and they have eggs. And they have 6 eggs at a time, or buy a dozen and then eat them all up. I don't know how I'll get them in the cooler though. And then I'm going to go to the national park, go to the park headquarters. I think they'll have Wi-Fi there because I want to regroup. I want to be able to text my son and say hi. I want to be able to check, like download some stuff. I'm going to download some books. Maybe there'll be fast enough internet for that. Somewhere along the way, I'm going to have 5G, or at least LTE. I can download some stuff. So I'm thinking I'll drive through the park, go to the picnic area. I've been there before. They had deer there. It was nice. And that's where I could eat a meal and chill. Maybe use my device there. I still don't feel good. And drive to the park in a leisurely way. I've been to the park enough times that I can't remember, more than 5, and really like it. But then I'll be at the other side of the park, and then there's stuff I want to do over there. Today's Wednesday, so yeah, so maybe tomorrow I do some of that stuff, like going to the subway cave if it's open, which I don't know because I can't check the internet because I have no internet. Okay, until next time, bye-bye. Yeah, so I am at a campground that is free. It is a campground. It has a pit toilet, but nothing else. Well, I mean, it has picnic tables and fire pit. You're not allowed to burn though. Not allowed to have any fires here, which I'm totally fine with because I'm not going to set a fire and I don't want to have to deal with the smoke. That was something that I actually didn't like from the campground that I was at last night. Was one of the people a little bit of ways away who had high drama and were very loud talkers. They had a campfire at night and a campfire in the morning, and it really filled the valley with smoke. And I'm just like, I get that for a lot of people, that's really a big part of camping. But when you go camping all the time, this is your life, you don't want to have everything be smoky all the time. I don't think. for me at least. I'm fine only having a campfire if I'm like with a bunch of other people who really want it, and then that'll be a special thing. So anyway, I realized I wanted eggs. That was one of the things I learned, is that I want a hot breakfast. So I was on a mission to get eggs. I left the campground really early. It was like 7 o'clock. So like the little stores that along the way weren't open yet, because these are very, very small town stores. The store in Lawson National Park didn't really have any cold groceries, at least none out. I think they might put them out later. They didn't have anything out yet, which is weird in my opinion, but whatever. I would think people want to grab stuff to go on a hike or a picnic, or, you know, well, I'm not in charge of them. Anyway, I decided to go all the way to Susanville, which is the next kind of full-size town, you know, that has multiple grocery stores, multiple gas stations, multiple motels, and even hotels, I think. You know, it has a Walmart supercenter, you know what I mean? It has all the things. So I went to a grocery store that was their locally owned grocery store, which I thought was kind of cool. It's got eggs, and also got some of these weird instant hash browns that are like shelf stable. You have to like soak them in hot water for 12 minutes to rehydrate them. I'm not planning to make them anytime soon, but I've actually been looking for them, and so they had it. It was actually a great grocery store. They had so much stuff that other places don't. They had a very large Asian section, a very large Latina section. I mean, it was just very big depth. Also a lot of convenience food, a lot of food that was kind of bargain rate kind of foods. I mean, it was a great grocery store. I think because there aren't that many grocery stores, full-size grocery stores in this area, you know, that everyone probably goes there for all their big shopping, right? So I decided to go to this campground. This is a official campground, but it's free because it doesn't have stuff. It doesn't even have trash service. I think that's the only thing that would bother me, is the trash service. But when I leave here, I'll just go up the road is a rest area, and I'll just put my trash there because I figure they're both government places. I think that's fine. Anyway, my California state taxes pays for that. So anyway, there's only one other person. You can see them kind of back there who's here, a tent camper who looks like they've been here for a little bit. It's kind of set up. One other couple came in, but I don't see them anymore, so I think they left. So that's it. I think there's only 6 or maybe 9 sites. Like, they're grouped in little threes. So there's these 3, there might be some over there. So nice, so quiet and peaceful. I mean, it's like 4 miles down a gravel road, easy to do in the Honda Civic. Okay, so not a big deal. Almost anybody's car could do it. Part of it is more like 1 lane, the very end, but so I wouldn't do this with something big, but a car, totally fine. Now, if it was muddy, if it was wet, I would not do this, but it's not. Dry. Apparently there's a creek over there which I can hear, so I want to go check that out eventually. But yeah, it's just super chill. I have no internet here, but 2 miles up the road there's 5G. If tomorrow I decide to keep staying here, I could drive up the road or walk up the road and get that if I felt like I needed to. I actually don't. Like, the main reason I wanted to check online was so I could figure out what to do next. And I also wanted to check in with my son, which I did. And I also kind of told them a little bit more about what I'm planning to do and how I'll hit the check-in button. So this is awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad I got it. I'm going to upgrade to the unlimited messaging because I think I'm going to be going over it in the next couple of days already. Because I want to be able to check the weather. Weather counts as a satellite message. And then obviously every satellite message I send. So I think I might be very close to being over. So I'm going to up that once I come out of the woods. But anyway, yeah, it's just lovely. It really is. I was so happy driving down the gravel road. So happy. So happy just driving down the local highways here. Mostly empty, super peaceful, lovely drives. Yeah, this is my kind of thing. It's so nice to actually be at a campsite where I feel chill, so I like how there's almost no one here. And even if other people come, if you come all the way out here, you come in here for it selects certain kinds of people. I might stay here for more than 1 night because this is kind of a nice chill place, but we'll see how it goes. It's a lot of flies. Flies are not that big of a deal. They're not biting flies. They're just slightly annoying. I was eating tuna fish, so it's my fault the flies came, for that. But I had put dried cranberries in them, and so I had to look at every bite to make sure that was indeed a dried cranberry and not a fly. I checked. I didn't eat any flies, I think, but that made things interesting. Yeah, the trash service is the only thing that bothers me. It's like, now I have my bag of trash sitting here, and the flies are, attracts them. And yeah, I can put it in the car, obviously. I'll be putting it in the car, but I'm putting it in the trunk. But then I sleep in there. Whatever. That'll be the one thing that I have to get used to that I didn't think about. It's so quiet here that it's disconcerting. It's like I'm alone in the universe. If there wasn't a truck with an attendant there, I would start to feel like I am alone in the universe. It is strange. And I don't feel lonely or bad in any way. It's more bizarre compared to living in suburbs, cities, etc. And even it being in a regular campground that has a lot of people in it, in going to national parks and going to small towns, they have a bustling energy. And out here is an incredible amount of space. But the weird thing is that because you're in a forest, you can't see the space. It's different than when you're out alone in the desert, because you can perceive the amount of space and know how much it is. But here you can't. Not just the desert, also tundra and prairie. You know, you can really see the horizon. I actually like the desert more. There's this weird aspect of the forest because you can't see the horizon. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a lovely place with the trees, with the creek. You know, it's incredibly quiet and peaceful, but it is strange. It is strange. So I've been just reading. It's a book I actually read before, but I read it a really long time ago, so I don't remember everything that happens. I just remember the overall vibe of it. So it's a trilogy, so I have a lot of bookness to read on my Kindle, but I'm actually reading it on my phone. I haven't gotten the Kindle out. I don't know why, I just didn't feel like dealing with it. I already have my phone here. This is what I downloaded all the books to. Since when I had 3G, my Kindle was in the trunk. I don't want to take it out. Yeah, so I'm going to cook dinner. And then the thing that I plan to do here, besides read and chill and such, is to go through all the stuff in my car that doesn't belong anywhere yet. So I have my clothes, and I actually need to have one more bag for my clothes, but I own that. It's in my storage. I have my clothes. I have all my food stuff, which all that stuff for the most part is well organized or very close to it. Then I have all these like random things, either just floating around the trunk or random things that are in bags. I have multiple bags of randomness. So what I want to do is go through tomorrow, spread out on the picnic table, go through all those bags of randomness and figure out what I'm going to do with all of them and then do it. That may be something I do when I get back. Some of it I won't. Some of it I actually can do now. And something when I get back. And then make a to-do list that's for all those things so they actually get done. Because that's what I want to do before the end of the month, is have everything in my car be there purposefully and have a place where it lives and be, you know, in the car in a logical way. Right now I'm really kind of having to force things into the trunk, and it's slightly annoying. So I want to get to a point where birds are loud. I want to get to a point where everything is in a logical place for how I use it. I do like having the food in the trunk. I think that's better from a safety perspective, and I also think it's better from a use perspective, getting stuff out, because then I just open up the trunk. It's one thing, you know. And when I cook food, I'm not worried about being stealth. But having my clothes in the car is helpful, because then if I need to put on pants or a shirt or a sweatshirt, or I want to change into shorts, I can do that in the car. I think that's actually a good idea. I haven't put up the tent. I don't know about that. Like, I haven't felt like putting it up makes sense. Or my table. I have this table. One of the problems with the tent is I don't have what are those things called? Whatever. The tent spike things that go into the ground. And if without that, a wind could topple it over. So I don't really feel like it makes a lot of sense to do. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get back to drinking my water and reading my book. And then a little later, I'll cook dinner. So there's only other one person that I've seen in this campground this morning. That's a pickup truck that parked, not in an official campsite, but whatever, who cares. And I went for a little walk just to see where the trail was. It's a bike trail. I don't think I would hike on it. It wouldn't really be a fun hike, just because bike trails aren't made for people to walk on. They don't have switchbacks in the same way. Anyway, so it's more of a fire trail that has been made into a bike trail. As I was walking back, he was walking up. He made a bunch of grunting noises, so I heard him. And we were literally going to be walking like this and be right next to each other. I felt like it was more awkward to say nothing than to say something. So I said, "Good morning." I've been up for, hour and a half, something like that. I've had breakfast, half my coffee. He literally didn't say anything or acknowledge my presence at all. And I'm just like, "Arr." So yeah, campground people do. But this while this is technically a campground, it's more of a spot to camp in the middle of the woods. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't creepy. It was more just like awkward. So I'm alone again. The people with the tents finally came this morning 2 cars, a total of 3 people and a dog. Then the car that had been here the whole time left, and then they eventually broke down their camp. While they were here, they were playing country music really loud. I have no problem with someone playing music. That's fine. It's your camp, like your experience. But it's amazing to me how people play it so loud. And it's like, dude, we're like, this is a shared space. Anyway, they left. And then the guy with the dogs, there's this guy with 2 dogs in a pickup truck with a camper shell on it. Came here early this morning, was here for a little bit, and then left. And I thought, oh, he just came here to have a break, And then he just came back and was here for a little bit and then left. The thing that was weird to me, the thing that's weird is he doesn't just leave. He drives slowly through the whole campground and then leaves. At first I thought he was going to go get one of the other campsites, like the campsite that the people vacated. Maybe he wanted that one. Maybe it's better. I haven't walked over there. Actually, I'm going to walk over there just to see what it is now that no one's here. But so many people have done that, driven through the whole infinitesimally small campground that you can see by just standing here really slowly. I mean, you need to drive slowly on these roads, but it's so weird. I don't understand this behavior, what the deal is. I totally get the idea of coming here just for 30 minutes or an hour, because you can fill up on your water, you can go to the bathroom, you can use a picnic table. I mean, you're really using it as a picnic area, and that totally makes sense, especially if you have dogs, they can go to the bathroom. And you can drive on all these there's gravel roads that go throughout all the woods here, and I'm sure people go fishing. I don't know if you can hunt around here. There's a hunting season in July. But you can definitely go fishing because they have signs about cleaning the fish. And there's people who would just, drive around the roads and go ride their bike and, hike, whatever. But the driving slowly through the campground is so weird to me. I don't understand. But it is nice that I'm here by myself again because for a number of reasons. 1, it's quiet. 2 is that I can make videos like this and talk at whatever volume I want and not feel bizarre about it. And 3, I could change clothes and not care. So for changing into these clothes, I literally just squatted down and was topless for a split second. And then for my moms, I actually went to the porta potty. And well, it's not really a porta potty. It's a pit toilet. So it has a fair amount of room in there. I changed in there, which is a big balancing act because I have to keep my keep my feet in my shoes so my feet don't touch the floor, but whatever. Something I need to work on is bathing. So I just used wet wipes to, shall we say, clean the most important areas. But I'm getting to the point today after 2 nights of wanting to do an actual bathing situation. My hair can go till tomorrow. That's not the end of the world, but it's fine. And also I could easily just wet my hair, right? But true bathing, so I mean, fundamentally, the next time I come out to some remote place, I will set up my sunshade tent because that will be a place where I can change clothes and I can bathe. I can put the chair in there and, set everything up and be in a place that's not dirty and be naked and bathed from head to toe. I also want to get one of the things on my big list that I have made is to get a collapsible bucket, actually 2 collapsible buckets. That way I can wash my hair and bathe and really be able to keep up cleanliness. The reason I need 2 buckets to wash my hair is 1 bucket is where I could heat up water using various different methods, put it in that bucket and add some regular water because I'd probably put boiling water, and then put in a thing that has a sprayer and wash my hair using that water as the end in, but then I need a place to put the out. If I'm somewhere where there's a toilet, or a pit latrine, I'll just pour it down that. If it's somewhere that doesn't have that, then I would dig a hole and put it in there. Even if I'm using biodegradable stuff. Like here, I'm really close to a creek, so I'd want to go over there somewhere away from the creek to put that in the hole. So anyway, it is about midday. I still don't, there's still so much shade at my campsite. I haven't bothered to set up my solar panels because there's not that much sun at my campsite, so I'd have to move them constantly. That's actually a dynamic that's a challenge, is on one hand, you want enough sun so you can charge your solar panels. On the other hand, you want shade to keep cool. I don't know. It's hard to figure out what you should get. So I've just been reading my book, my second book, and I think I'm halfway through now, which I'm very much enjoying, which is relaxing. I've done a ton of organization and created my to-do list and all that stuff. I do want to organize stuff inside the car. I just realized the light is on in the car. How did that even happen? Maybe it's been on this whole time. I go shut it up. Not the car, not connected to the car battery. It's those little circle lights that are on their own battery system. But anyway, I want to do some more organization inside the car, but I mean, that will take me just minutes, and I can do that whenever I go into bed. One of the problems of being camping is I don't really want to hang out inside the car because I'm kind of dirty. And I have to like clean myself, like at least clean my legs and feet because I get dusty before I can get into my bed. So I don't really hang out in my car very much, which is fine and good. And I like being outside. But there's a whole lot of things that are easier to do in the car or are kind of I've set up really for city living, town living. Like I haven't been taking my vitamins and like doing these kind of morning routine things because I'm not in the car where that stuff is. Now, I haven't worried about working or any of that stuff because I don't have internet anyway. There's not a lot that I can do without internet. So, and also because of the dustiness, dirtiness. So if I wanted to get out of it, I could easily set up my tent, except I don't have stakes and I don't have a mallet. And this is hard ground. I'm not trying to try. I mean, I get that it has like rocks and dirt, but like to get into it, it's not going to, I mean, look at that. That's not something that I'm going to be able to just push my way through to put in a stake. So yeah, I think the next time I come out to somewhere like this or even this again, I will set up my son's tent so I have a place to have privacy. I have a whole bunch of other things on my list, including a bathing kit and a hair washing kit, which I have most of the stuff for, but not everything. Also hand washing. So my nails are disgusting. They're terrible right now because there's no sink. And while I do have a little thing with running water and there's running water up there, it's like keeping my hands clean, including my fingernails. I need a scrub brush for that. So yeah, I can give my hands a once over, but it's not the same. So yeah, that's gross. And I've been just using wipes. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's not optimal. So as of right now, I think I will stay here one more night, fundamentally just to give myself another place to sleep for a night that's free and easy. I think though I do want to go back tomorrow. It's going to start getting hot here, so I'll spend tomorrow in air conditioning driving. And then I want to buy these things and do these projects, and that's what I'll spend next week doing, is getting this stuff done, hopefully. I don't have a migraine right now, which is lovely. I have no desire to go hiking or do anything. I'm kind of just enjoying sitting here reading a book. I haven't just done nothing for so long, nothing except for when I'm forced to because of heat or because of migraines. It's nice to just exist. Oh, I made a wonderful guac. Oh, it was so good to eat something fresh like that. I think that's going to be an important thing, is making sure I regularly eat very fresh food. So it could be something like a salad, it could be fresh guac, it could be a fresh salsa, but having things that I eat that are very fresh, I think is important. Avocado is nice that way because if you buy a rock hard avocado, it gives you a few days until it's ready. So it kind of extends time in the field for you to eat something fresh. Now, I'm also going to want to put in some green onions. What I put in with the lime, an entire lime, I ate an entire avocado, an entire lime, green onions, jalapeno, salt. I think that's all that went in it. The avocado could have used another 12 to 24 hours of ripening, but it was fine once I got it in there with the lime and the salt. The lime and the salt help break it down to make it good to eat. So we'll see if anybody else shows up. It's only midday, so that same guy could come back with him and his dogs. Apparently, he came here twice, may come here again, and then we may get other campers. It's Thursday. I would expect people will be here on the weekend, and assuming I spend the night tonight, I plan on leaving early just because, well, actually it's not true. I might not leave early. I'll be going opposite traffic for most of the way, so I shouldn't have a problem with traffic except for the very, very, very end. And then I can drive surface streets. So I might stay here until it starts to get warm, like this time, and then drive, because then I can drive in the air conditioning. I will want to shower and wash my hair. I don't know if I'm going to do it right when I get back, or if I'll do it along the way, or I'll just wait until tomorrow morning. Depends on how gross I feel. Talk to you later. So I don't know. Part of me is thinking about leaving. So I can go do things. Now that I have a to-do list, part of me wants to just go do those things. Of course, the issue is it's afternoon. It'll take me 4 to 5 hours to get home. Well, I'm already home. It'll take me 4 to 5 hours to get back to the Silicon Valley, depending on traffic that I run into. And then I wouldn't get back in time to go to my storage unit. I could do some other things, but of course I haven't showered in 3 days. Now I've given myself a once over, but not, an actual shower. Haven't washed my hair. My hair doesn't really need to be washed every day or even every other day. Right now, lately I've been washing it every other day, but that's mostly out of habit, and then wetting it the other day in between, just so it gets wavy again. But yeah, my hair is not really a huge problem, because who cares? Place my order on Amazon, can go to Target and buy the things and then organize that stuff. I wish there was a place for me to camp that was free, or even just available close to the Silicon Valley. Because while during the week I could probably get a campsite somewhere, but on the weekends at state parks in California, everything is full. Everything is full during the summer, and even in the fall and the spring, to be honest. Now, part of it is because around where I live, a whole bunch of the campgrounds burned up, but there's some of them are still left. The campgrounds in the state parks are $35 a night, so I can't do that every day. It is nice staying somewhere like this where it's free. I did get bitten by mosquitoes a little bit this morning. The mosquitoes were out this morning, and I tried to use that thermocell thing, and it did not work. It wouldn't start, wouldn't click. I might try to get a lighter and light it, but I mean, what the hell, you know? So I just spray bug spray on me, but I think the mosquitoes are gotten me. And the weirdest part, I mean, I was wearing long pants and long sleeves, and they bit me through my clothes. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll probably just stay here because I have a lot of inertia right now. There's a lot of bugs flying around. It's very distracting. Because I have a lot of inertia about doing anything, and I can just sit here and read my book and spend the night here and not have to like spend energy on finding a place to sleep. The place I slept in the Silicon Valley, I'd slept there multiple nights, and it was a great spot. But then the last night I slept there, which would have been Monday night, it was not good. It's like in front of a building that is abandoned. It's a business that is no longer there. I parked in a tiny bit of a different spot. Where I parked was no good, because what happened is like these two big, huge trucks around like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning were right by me, and then went in somewhere else, and then were parked, and they were very far off the road, but they were running with their lights on. I couldn't keep sleeping. I don't know what they were doing. It was weird. You know, I don't know. I mean, so I ended up leaving very, very early in the morning. It is a whole thing finding a place to sleep each night, to park the car and sleep. Mostly because if you find a good place, sometimes it turns into not being a good place. Now, I do have revised some of my plans. I am thinking that in September, when I go on a big road trip, I'm actually going to go for longer. My original plan, which is still my only kind of plan, is for 2 weeks, but about 2 weeks. But now I'm thinking I may end up being gone for like a whole month and go to more places. Like I said on another video, I've just realized that I really need to actually plan where I'm going, where I think I'll be spending the night, what days I'm going to work. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to use for that. Like, if I'm just going to get a notebook and write it in there, if I'm going to use some kind of software or just make a Google Calendar for it, use some app, I don't know. But one of the things is I can't do any of that planning here because I am off grid, which I very much enjoy, but it means that there's a lot of stuff I can't do. Hey, so I am back in town after my first road trip, which was 4 days, 4 days, 3 nights. Wonderful overall. I got to step in the snow and touch the snow with my hands. In July, I got to drive down a gravel road and go to a remote campground where there was nobody else. I mean, it was overall a lovely little trip. I learned a lot of things. I made a big list of, here we get my list of all the things that I needed. I have a big list of stuff I need to get from my storage or to buy, which I already bought the stuff that I needed to do to finish this build and to finish everything in here. So it's better for not just living in town, but living when I'm traveling too. And then with this, I think I'll be really set, at least until something big changes like winter and, things like that. So that's what I'm gonna be working on the next week. There's one more week in July. So what I'm planning to do is next week work on all this stuff. I've actually already started on it. And this weekend and over next week, finish this build so it's up completely done, and then go on another road trip. That one a little bit longer, like 5 days, 4 nights. And I think I'm also gonna go to the Sierra Nevadas again, to a different part though. And partly to just enjoy the traveling. I wanna actually do true remote camping in the sense of I want to go to a place that isn't a campground. So I went to 2 campgrounds. One was a campground where you paid money and everything, and there was a person there who was, the camp host. And they had trash service and porta potties and water. The second campground I went to though was much more remote. Only had 5 technically legal sites, even though you could camp anywhere because it's a dispersed camping area. And it did have a pit toilet, which was wonderful to have. with toilet paper and everything. And it did have water, which I actually was surprised about. I didn't think it was going to have water. And that was great. It was so cool because it was well water. It was lovely. No trash service, no person there. You're just there by yourself. Had a picnic table, which actually I really do like staying in the campground because of the picnic table. I actually didn't think that I would use it that much, but I use it as a counter to cook. So that's really helpful. And then I didn't have to get my table out. Obviously I could just get my table out. I would do things very differently in the future. One thing is if I was going to stay at a campsite for more than one night, I would set up my tent, I would set up my table and you know, really set everything up to make it easier on myself, especially if it was an actual campground. I also want to actually do true dispersed camping, truly like where it's not a campground by any means. Now to do that though, I need a few more things. I also just needed some things to keep myself warm, like a hat. I didn't have a warm hat with me, even though I own a gazillion of them. I mean, you know, stuff like that. I need more trash bags. I have just small trash bags for me to throw out trash every day, but I need a bigger trash bags for me to collect the trash when I'm out in remote places where there's no trash service. So that's the idea, is to do all this, finish the bill, upholster, all that stuff, get it completely done, and then go on another trip to enjoy and also test it again. The second week in August, I actually have to be back in town because I have jury duty, so I have to be around here. There's some other things that I'm gonna do actually also I'm gonna test is going to other parts of town to hang out. So this part of town that I'm in right now is actually hotter. It's about 5 or 6 degrees hotter than other parts of town because it's just farther away from the water. And so I did some research about a place that I actually used to live in that looked at their parks and their library and stuff. And I think I'm going to go spend time there. I don't know if I'll do it this weekend or not, but maybe, because this weekend, this place tends to be insanely busy with traffic. So I'm going to go check that out and see if that's a better place, and not just to hang out during the day with their library and their parks, but also to spend the night and try out spending the night somewhere else. You know, the question will be, will I go all the way over to the other part of town where my Planet Fitness is? There's another Planet Fitness that's closer, but doesn't have air conditioning. So that sounds gross. Even at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, I kind of like going back to the same Planet Fitness. I could have gone to a Planet Fitness on the way back. There's one in Red Bluff that's open 24 hours a day, but I was just like, I don't want to go somewhere new. I went to so many new places. So I haven't showered or washed my hair since Tuesday, and it's Friday. Now, I mean, I gave myself a once over multiple times, but like not a true shower. And that's one of the things that's on my list, is having a bathing kit, a hair washing kit, and actually a hand washing kit, because there are times where I have water, but I don't have like a kit to wash my hands. So I'm like grabbing random things, and I need like a scrub brush because my nails just can't get clean without a lot of scrubbing, because I get so much dirtier when I'm out there. So yeah, I actually feel really good. I slept well last night. I actually also think being at elevation and my body making a whole lot of extra red blood cells, I now feel so energized. I have so much oxygen. So I actually feel very good. Yeah, so anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll be proceeding forward with my big giant to-do list. So I'm getting ready to go to my place to sleep and chill out in a random parking lot. I've never parked in this parking lot at this time of night, so I'm not quite sure if it's a good place to park this time of night. Just literally watching YouTube and stuff. So the place I parked at last time I was in town, I got woken up at like 2 or 3 or something in the morning with these big trucks with their lights on and stuff. I'd parked in a slightly different spot, and it was like I actually felt like they were mad at me because they pulled up behind me, and then I think it was the same ones, because I was, you know, saying then they were over here and they were shining the lights. It was just like, what is happening? I was under the impression that was a place where there was no business anymore. Maybe way in the back, maybe they're rented it out to somewhere else. So I drove by it earlier, and there was in that long spot, there was a tractor trailer for a business that's across the street, and no other cars were parked there. So I'm trying to decide, am I going to go there and park? If I was going to, I was going to park at the end of the street, right by the corner. So that way I'm very far away from that truck. I don't know. It's really hard to know if it's a good idea or not. So yeah, it's also 4 degrees hotter here than it is in a different part of town. This is a really warm place. It's bizarre. And so it's like 78 degrees right now, which sounds great, except when you're trying to go to sleep. I'm pretty adapted to it being warm, but I don't know. So I really don't want to go there though until it's a little bit darker. I think I'm going to drive kind of around the block, in a manner of speaking, a really giant block, so I can approach it when it's a little bit darker at night. Wish me luck. Hey, it's Elizabeth, off grid, and I have been living in my car for 3 weeks now. 3 weeks as of last night. Last night I was planning to go to my regular spot. It was the first night back in town. So I was one of my very first road trip in the new setup. And there was a tractor trailer parked there, and then it was moved. It was from a business across the street. I suspect it's the same one that shined their brights at me for like a really long time until I moved last time I was here. I legally had the right to park there, but I am not interested in getting a power struggle with somebody with the tractor trailer or generally at all. You know what? If you want to be at some power struggle over street parking, you go do that. I am not interested in your drama. Okay. So I looked for a number of spots that I had picked out a long time ago. I didn't have good vibes about any of them. I thought about just going to a parking lot at Home Depot that I parked at once. Did not have good vibes about that. So I decided this was the night to try a new place. This was a place that's actually by my significant other's place, where they live, and it is somewhere where there's like an RV parked there. No one cares there. Nobody cares. It's very close to the library where I go all the time, where I upload video that has very fast internet. So I decided to try that out. Trying out a new place is always a bit nerve-wracking because you really don't know what the vibe is going to be in the middle of the night, But yeah, it actually went really well. At that street parking, I could almost get Wi-Fi from the library. It wasn't on in the morning. Like, I wonder if it times out at a certain point. I don't know. Or maybe I just was a little bit too far away. But it was actually very quiet because it's actually not on a main road. It's on a secondary road. So it really wasn't a problem. I actually liked it a lot. Also, it was like 5 degrees cooler than around here where I usually park. So yeah, so I think it was a win-win. And it's actually, my significant other's out of town right now, but it would be nice to be near them when I'm parking, because if I have a problem, I have someone who is like a block away or maybe block and a half away who could help me, so I could go there and in an emergency or whatever. I could run there, jog. So yeah, so it was good to have a new spot to potentially park. I highly doubt anyone will care. Now, the thing that one of the reasons I hadn't do it before is because some of the cars around there have gotten broken into, and also someone set an RV on fire. So, it is not exactly a low crime area as far as property crime. Well, actually, someone was also shot, or at least there was like some kind of shooting recently around there. So violent crimes also, but that's one of the balances in finding a place. You have to balance safety, how much property crime is there, how much violent crime is there, is anyone going to mess with you in your car, etc. If you go to a place that's kind of too safe, it tends to be fancy pants, and the cops have time to check out a suspicious car, and people will report a suspicious car. So I don't know what's better or worse. It's a balance. But I slept very well. Got up, took a shower, which was glorious. I also worked out. Oh, so here's an update. I got these little air tags, and I mostly got it in case my car got stolen, but I got a 4-pack. So I put one on my keys, one in my purse, one in my computer bag where my laptop is, and then one in the car. And today, the little thing fell out of this key fob. So the rest of them are like inside something, so I'm not worried about them getting lost. But so then I lost the thing that was supposed to keep my keys from being lost. So I had to look all over Planet Fitness. A guy helped me look, and we couldn't find it. And the little location thing that's on my phone kept telling me it was in Planet Fitness, but it couldn't find it. It couldn't play the chirp. So I ended up, I kind of gave up, and I went out to the car, and then it said it was right by me, and it played the chirp, and it had come out and was underneath my seat. I guess it had happened in the middle of the night, not in the middle of the night, but probably when I was getting from the back to the front, to the front to the back, and slipped out. So this little silicone thing is not secure. So I ordered another thing that's like $5. That's leather that has a snap. Not that that's like the most secure thing ever, but like this is way too easy to slip out of. So, but it's not purple, so that's sad. It's black. But in a way that might actually be better, because then it would kind of be like it'll be the same as this one, kind of. So maybe that's better. I don't know. My son made this one for me. So anyway, that was my thing that happened this morning. I decided to actually write down my daily routine, my kind of in the city daily routine. So I have that, and I'm kind of thinking about, is there anything I want to do in a different order or whatever? I'll do a video in the future about my daily routine in town, living in a car. But I really like having it written down and seeing where things fit. And this is something that I kind of just organically created over time. I do also want to have a routine when I'm traveling, because I totally didn't have a routine when I was traveling. Like, I didn't take my vitamins. You know, I mean, there's things that I'm not going to do while traveling. I'm not going to like, you know, check my email or whatever when have no internet connection. But I do want to make sure I do things like take my vitamins as a great example. But right now I just wrote down my in-town routine. So that developing a routine when I'm traveling will be something I'll work on my next trip. So right now, the part of my routine I'm at, I, you know, went to Planet Fitness and worked out and did my shower. Then I had breakfast and got coffee. I used the last of my Starbucks card because I had all those Starbucks cards. So I used the last of that and got some cold brew, and their cold brew is actually pretty nice. Then I have a time where I do errands. And so today I did laundry. The laundry place opens at 6 a.m. But there's a lot of things you could do at 6 a.m. Home Depot and Walmart are open. There's 24-hour grocery stores that are open. So it's on my 10 by 10 storage is open. So I actually have some errands that I can do at between 6 and 8 a.m. That's a good time to do things. And then also in the car, I'll stop at some random parking lot and take my vitamins, do my financial tracking, and then do some language learning. I decided right now I'm going to focus on, I'm doing Spanish with Babbel, and which I had a 3-month like coupon for, so I don't have to use it. Pay anything for 3 months. So I'm going to do that for 3 months and see where I get. One of the things I've learned with language learning is I like to do some kind of formal course until I get to like advanced beginner. And then I want to switch over to immersion kind of things. But in Spanish, I might be able to make a lot of progress in 3 months. Then in Japanese, I'm just working on hiragana, katakana, like it is so hard for me, but I'm just going to focus on that. I also have the Japanese pod 101, whatever that's called. And I will work through those, but I'm focusing on hiragana, katakana. And I have an app for that I'm using. So that's one of the things I'll do. Then go to the park, do anything that I didn't do before if I didn't take my vitamins yet or whatever. I'll tidy and clean. You can see in here, I did laundry, including my sheets. So like this is just naked, the foam. So I haven't made my bed up again. And this is a bit of a mess in here. So I'm going to work on that. I might actually go to a different parking lot because this parking lot gets a lot of foot traffic, which makes me feel weird. But it's a nice place to park right this second. I have second breakfast, which will probably be my hot breakfast. I don't want to go out to eat, get fast food again. That's a big reason I've been spending like literally twice as much as I want to be spending. Do some more language learning if I haven't done it already or in addition, and then work on video. So filming a video if it's a time for me to film video, if I want to talk about my day, or if I want to do some kind of, you know, here are the 10 things about this, whatever video. I want to start filming in my car for my other channel too and doing some tutorials. This would be a good time today to do that. Not going to do that today because I have a bunch of other things on my list to do. And I would like to do it on a day when it's not super hot, so I don't get overheated. Even at this time of the morning, it's already starting to get warm because it's going to be 95 here today, at least. I bet $10 says it's going to be, they say 95, it's going to be 98. That's what my bet is. And then edit video. I could sit here and edit video, certain kinds of videos especially. So if I have time and energy to do that. Then I go run some errands if I have any errands to run, and then go to the library. Libraries open at a different time each day. There are libraries that open at 10 a.m. And then there's sometimes on certain days they only open at noon or 1. Today's a Saturday, so the libraries will open at 10. But I don't like to get there at 10 because 10 is when like parents bring their children. And so I don't care about the noise of the kids because I can easily ignore that because I had a kid who was very noisy. But the parking lot is full. They take all the good parking with shade. So it's better to go there like noon. So at the library, charge all my devices that need to be charged, go through all my inboxes, which I have many, and do any more editing and uploading of videos, client work, and then somewhere in there have some kind of lunch, which could on a hot day would probably be a sandwich or a salad or snacks. Then I have a time where I go run errands again, if I need to run any errand. Sometimes that's a time where I do need to run errands, like I need to pick up stuff that would Amazon deliveries or whatever. Then go back to a park again, because the libraries close at between 6 and 9, depending upon the library. So if I'm at a library that closes at 6, I'll leave there around 5 or 6 and go to a park again. That's where I'll have dinner, which might be a snack or it might be a salad or a sandwich or a wrap. I'll use my Cephally device for migraines. That's 20 minutes. Do meditation. That's something I'm trying to fit back in. I haven't done meditation in a week or 2. If I want to do any more language learning review, and then just relax and set up my bed, because I really want to get to a point in where I'm chilling out, so I'm not like stressed out right before I go to bed, because then I can't fall asleep. And then the parks close at sunset, which right now means 8:30 or a little before 8:30. Now in the winter, this will have to change because then it'll be like 5 or whatever, but right now it's like 8 something. So then I go to some random parking lot, relax, take my meds, and then when it's actually dark, so at least 9:30, if not 10, I go to wherever I'm going to park. That's kind of my routine for throughout the day. I'll do a video in the future where I actually go through the routine and show you what I am doing, but that's the current status of things. This has worked out pretty well. The only thing that I really am not doing right now is meditation. I'm doing meditation sporadically. Sometimes I do it I've been doing it during the middle of the day, but I think it will go better in the evening as like a relaxing at the end of the day activity. Now today specifically is going to be really hot. And there'll probably be bad beach traffic. So I already did laundry. I already went to my 5x5 storage. Right now I'm doing some stuff in the car. And at a certain point I will leave and go. I have 2 books that I want to donate. And then I want to go to my 10x10 storage for some reason that I can't remember. I don't know. I'll look on my list and see why I've decided to go there. And then go to the library. At the library, I want to finalize video that I have from my other channel and get those 100% like scheduled and with the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff. I have 5 videos I think ready to go on there that just haven't been finalized and scheduled. So that will take me through the end of August for that channel. And so then I can start working on recording more video. And that's just 1 video a week. I would rather do 2, but I'm just not kind of ramped up at a point of video for that channel. I will also do some charging of devices. And then I'll also be doing all my inboxes and maybe also editing some video for this channel. So what I'm doing is kind of switching around my life and having weekends be when I work and having my time off and unplugged be during the week. While that may be awkward for some people who want me to reply to messages during the week, that means I get to enjoy being out in places during the week when there's not fewer people there, especially during the summer. Campgrounds are full on the weekend a lot of times, but during the week you could find a space, especially if you're willing to go to a campground that's not fancy pants, not in like a, national park or state park. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get going on my various tasks. I'm actually starting to get kind of hungry, so I may think about making something. I have eggs, so I want to cook those eggs up before they go bad. Maybe make some breakfast tacos. All right, anyway, talk to you later.